where LeBron took to Twitter and was shit talking Kevin Love, but he didn't mention Kevin Love's name and just decided to do it on Twitter. And he literally said, "Stop trying to find a way to fit out and just fit in." And Kevin Love's all like, "Hey, I wonder what that feels like." Based.
So he still hasn't gotten new material even after all these years.
Exactly.
All right. So we're just going to grind Far Cry for about an hour while you're here.
Yeah. That Luka trade is so much worse. After Anthony Davis got hurt, which everybody should have seen.
Like, I feel like by the time this is over, Nico Harrison's not even going to be able to set foot in Dallas. He's going to be like, what's it, Art Modell in Baltimore.
Yeah. I would not at all be surprised if that ended up being the case, because his pathetic justification for that move is that it helps them become more competitive for a championship. And Anthony Davis getting hurt in his debut game and is expected to be out for at least a month. It's February. The season ends in mid-April. You know, when people are saying a month is a maybe, it could even be 6 to 8 weeks, he may miss the rest of the season, and he didn't even get hit.
Right.
The injury occurred because he moved wrong, and it's all like, he's made out of glass. And to happen in the debut game like that, how the fuck is it that the one of those trades the Lakers made got canceled because the guy didn't pass their physical? But the Anthony Davis trade for Luka goes through because the Mavs passed Anthony Davis on the physical. Then he gets injured for possibly the rest of the season in the debut game.
Well, one of the justifications that Nico Harrison had was that he didn't feel like a player like Luka could win a title as the best guy on a team because he was lazy. Like, because, you know, he's out of shape or whatever. Like, this motherfucker doesn't know anything about basketball from, like, the 80s or 90s or 00s. Like, fucking Larry Bird smoked cigars all year round and was very out of shape most of the year. I think Kobe Bryant loved fast food. Shaq was always out of shape until the playoffs. Like, this guy doesn't know anything about basketball.
When they made the Steve Nash Dwight Howard Lakers, Kobe was talking about one of the biggest culture shocks for him was how much a fitness nut Steve Nash was. Steve Nash was on another level in terms of the nutrition and his strict dietary regimen. And Kobe was all like, "Bro, I'm eating pizza every day." But at the same time, Kobe was one of the most in shape guys out there because he just had the most legendarily insane work ethic that we've ever seen out of anybody. However, in Nico Harrison's mind, he'd walk into the locker room one day and see Kobe eating an entire Little Caesars hot and ready by himself, and he'd be like, "Trade that fat." Like, bro, what the fuck? You know, and like you said, Shaq was famously constantly having problems with his conditioning and putting off surgeries that he needed instead of getting them the day after the season ends for the Lakers. He'd wait until the season started because he said, I got hurt on company time, so I'm going to heal on company time.
Right.
And, right, you know, and that was total bullshit. And Nico Harrison would be like, trade that fat ass. But Shaq gave you the three-peat, so. You know, like exactly like you said, you know, Jordan himself, you know, and many people still believe that Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Jordan had a huge gambling problem and would constantly party. You know, Charles Barkley told a story where, because he was friends with Mike, they went you know, they went out golfing the night before one of the finals games, or the day before, sorry. And Charles was leaving because he wanted to go get some sleep so he could wake up in time to, you know, practice before the game and everything. And Mike was like, "Yeah, don't worry, you know, I'll stay here." And Charles was feeling good. He's all like, "Oh man, you know, if he's gonna keep going." Because the rumors were, you know, he kept fucking around till like 3 a.m. that morning. Because as soon as he couldn't play golf anymore, because the course was, you know, shutting down and closed, then he just went, you know, to various clubs and trying to gamble as much as he could. He was out till 3 in the morning. And Charles was like, "Holy shit, we might win this one. There's no way he's going to be ready for that game." And Mike dropped 40. You know, history is replete with examples like this, where it's like, you gotta remember Sheed's famous saying, "Ball don't lie." You know, if, yeah, this may be unacceptable behavior from one of your bench guys, but there's leeway for the guy who's literally your franchise leader. You know, the Jimmy Butler situation's a good example. The Heat famously have extremely strict demands from the Heat culture with everybody who's on the team who's not the guy, but the guy has incredible amounts of leeway because they can't exactly bully him into, you know, fitting in with what they're trying to do there. So they gave LeBron a long leash. Jimmy probably got the longest leash out of anybody because it took ages for him to start getting suspended for the shit that he was doing.
Like, I would say a decent chunk of the modern NBA stars are health nuts, but
yeah,
not all of them.
Right, you know, like, so, you know, it is what it is. And, like, I look at Luka, and I'm like, he's not even, he doesn't even look that bad. You know, just from a pure aesthetic standpoint. And it's like, what, do you need everybody on the team to have a six-pack, otherwise they're, you know, you're gonna cut them? Because, again, this is Luka Doncic. He's not just your star player, he's, at worst, the third best player in the league. Perennial MVP candidate, got you to the finals last year. Wait until the guy can't fucking play before you decide that it might be a good idea to move on from him. It's unbelievable that he made that choice.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there are guys who every single season show up clearly out of shape and just play themselves into shape, like Chris Paul and James Harden. They would do that every year almost.
Yeah.
Harden. Yeah. Remember the Harden's man boobs?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember a guy who played with James Harden, and, you know, he also played on the Mavs, and he's actually a great example. I'm going to look him up to see what exactly happened. Oh, yeah. Chandler Parsons. A couple of days before Kobe died, Chandler Parsons was hit by a drunk driver.
Mm-hmm.
And 5 days after that, Chandler Parsons' attorney announced that injuries he sustained in that car accident would be career-ending. And they absolutely were. You know, he tried for 2 years in physical therapy to be able to make a comeback, but it didn't work. So in 2022, he officially announced his retirement from the NBA.
Right. I forgot about this.
And the whole,
but yeah.
right, and the whole reason I'm bringing him up is because even though Chandler Parsons is in incredible shape in his post-career days, when he showed up to Dallas after he got this huge contract because he balled out when he was playing with Harden and the Rockets, if you remember. When he showed up to Dallas, he was extremely out of shape. To the point where there were a ton of Chandler Parsons photoshops of him being insanely fat. Rick Carlisle called him fat because he was still coaching the Mavs at the time. Rick Carlisle was constantly in getting media attention when they were together because you know, he just said I can't handle this guy's weight.
So that's all Jimmy Butler's missing to show up to Miami practice one day weighing 400 pounds. That's the only thing he didn't do.
Basically. But, you know, it's exactly like I said, you know, about Jimmy having this incredibly long leash. Think about who Pat Riley is as a guy. Now, imagine somebody who's just like the perennial bench guy shows up to media day and he's got that weird emo haircut that Jimmy did. Now, I thought that was hilarious. But, like, there's no fucking way anybody else would have gotten away with that.
It's been a while since Pagan's men were denied anything. Let that truck you destroyed be the start of a new age for Kyrat.
So, how many days left do you have before you get a day off?
3 more shifts. Friday is my day off, but my last shift is Thursday night to Friday morning.
So, have you watched any of the Super Bowl yet?
No, I'm not interested. Because, I mean, I wasn't interested before the game was played, but when I woke up and it was just a hilarious blowout, I'm all like, well, the only thing I need to see is Taylor Swift getting booed, and I watched that, and it was funny. And that's... I don't care about anything else. However, it's definitely been hilarious to see Eagles fans reacting to this by saying that Hurts is the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
And I'm all like, you know, all I've got is to be able to look at the box score because I didn't watch that game. And just looking at the box score, he didn't have a bad game, not by any stretch. He played, you know, pretty good. But I'm not one who's willing to sit here and say that Jalen Hurts is the reason that the Eagles won the championship when Saquon Barkley had a record-breaking rushing season, and Jalen Carter literally saved the season for the Eagles by single-handedly stopping the Rams' game-winning drive.
I mean,
They wouldn't have even made
Yeah, he
the
played
championship
good,
game.
but there were like at least 5 Eagles who had a bigger impact on that game than he did. Like fucking Josh Sweat had 2.5 sacks.
Yeah, you know, so they do that because if you're the quarterback, you win Super Bowl MVP if your team wins, unless you play like shit. Or another guy was just so absurdly fucking incredible that, you know, so like when the Broncos won with Peyton and Super Bowl MVP is Von Miller, now that's understandable. Von Miller had an incredible impact on the game. He was in Cam Newton's head. He gave us one of the most iconic moments in NFL history of Cam Newton literally being afraid to go for a fumble recovery in the Super Bowl because Von Miller was going for the ball too and he didn't want to get hurt. And of course, Noodle Arm Peyton was just there, but he was along for the ride. So you get it. But then, you know, people being upset that Eli Manning didn't make it into the Hall of Fame this year, and they say he's got 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and so like, come on. You know, so yeah, you know, Hurts did not have a bad game, but I'm sitting there like, he's not the best quarterback in the league just because he won Super Bowl MVP. The Eagles are an incredible team, and they would have made it with Jimmy Garoppolo.
I'm pretty sure I can name at least 15 quarterbacks in the NFL right now better than Jalen Hurts.
If you take literally any white quarterback who made the playoffs and replace Jalen Hurts with that quarterback for the whole season, the Eagles would have gone undefeated.
Like, the difference between Jalen Hurts and Daniel Jones is not that big. There is a difference, but it's not particularly big.
In my mind, the difference is that Jalen Hurts on that famous run where Daniel Jones fell down, Jalen Hurts would have stayed upright. That's about it. Oh, but like, man, if Joe Burrow replaced Jalen Hurts on the Eagles, we would be talking about that Eagles team right now as being perhaps the best team the league has ever seen.
That would be unfair, yeah.
Because you've got a Hall of Fame offensive line, a record-breaking rushing season from Saquon Barkley, probably the best defense in the NFL, including Jalen Carter, who's quickly making a case for being a Hall of Fame D lineman. Plus Joe Burrow on top of that, who with the absolutely insanely shitty Bengals team that he has to deal with, he still manages to put up the most ridiculous numbers to the point where, honestly, if Joe Burrow was given MVP, I wouldn't have even been mad.
Yeah.
Obviously, he wouldn't because the Bengals didn't make the playoffs. But like, if they just gave him MVP, I'm like, I'm not even mad.
When I get my hands on Arjun, I'm going to beat him to death. The boss blamed me for his escape. When I was stationed in one of those northern outposts, they always served Cantonese food. I got so sick of it.
So how much have you been keeping up with like news and stuff lately?
I heard a noise. Check it out for me.
Not very much. 'Cause, I mean, usually by the time I wake up, I just check to see what's trending on Twitter, and because I mean, we follow a lot of the same people, so if anything big happened, I would have heard about it. But
Did you hear about the pennies stuff?
yes, I'm surprised that it took so long for this kind of thing to finally happen, and the reason that I say that is because Obama was talking about doing this, 15 fucking years ago, because even back then, and it's not because of anything other than pennies have famously been made with copper for so much of the nation's existence, and they use a copper blend now. It's not pure copper, but the price of copper has started going up because copper is just so much more valuable for its many different uses now. Not that it's rare or that we're running out of it,
I'm on my way.
but that it's just becoming so much more useful. It's so much more valuable now, to where a penny, which is supposed to be worth 1 cent, the actual coin itself, the manufacturing process costs more than 1 cent. So to mint them costs the U.S. Treasury money. It's a total loss, which is pointless because, like, why the fuck, why do we even need this thing? So Obama 15 years ago was talking about doing it, so I'm surprised it took so long, but Jesus Christ. Another thing they could think about doing is
Is it normal for tigers
if
to
they
hunt
just
back
made the
like
penny out of something else. There's no more copper in it at all. But, hardly anybody even pays in cash anymore. Pennies are just a nuisance.
I pay for as much as I can in cash pretty much always. But I am certainly picking up on the fact that this country clearly wants people to stop paying for anything in cash. And I'm wondering if I'm going to live to see the end of that.
It's hard to see where they're coming from.
Use your ears. You should be able to hear them before you see them. Fucking
Ajay, my
Daniel!
friend.
I'm a big fan of being able to pay with things using cash, though. If they take that away, I will be sad.
Like nothing scares them. They just keep running toward us.
Try the Molotovs. I haven't met a tiger yet who didn't taste fire. Tiger! Look out! Look out!
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, man.
I hate tigers, but I love you. Thank you.
Oh man, I was so shocked. Cause I really didn't think I was gonna get this much in a single day. I'm fasting again to get Beachbody ready.
Yeah.
It's like
And,
the coldest time of the year.
Well, that's the whole point, Remember, you're talking to a guy that used to be a personal trainer. Anytime you want to do anything to, modify your body, you want to give yourself as much of a time cushion as possible, because things just don't happen overnight. Which is ironic considering the story that I'm about to tell you. But, you want to get Beachbody ready in the wintertime. because by the time summer rolls along, now you actually have gains to show. As opposed to people like, I want to get Beachbody ready and it's May. It's all like, okay, you're fucked. Like, not gonna get anything done in a month. Like, Jesus. So anyway, I was surprised by this. You know, I was fasting. Yesterday, I wake up this morning, I weigh myself, and I lost 4 pounds in a single day. Like, holy shit. Hi, kitty.
So, yeah, I met with my old supervisor today for a
How'd that
couple
go?
hours. I think it went pretty good. Trying to
Nice.
help set up like my LinkedIn profile to better attract recruiters and other ways I can make myself seem more appealing to people hiring.
Right.
First time I've been inside a library in a very long time today. That's where we met.
Yeah, I know that feeling. When I dropped off my ballot for this election, it was at the library in my city, and I hadn't been there since God, 2015. So almost 10 years. Yeah, you know, I went in there and I'm looking around and like most of what I see in the library is a large computer lab, and I'm all like, isn't this supposed to be about books?
There were a lot of books at the library that I went to.
You know what I always enjoy is going to a bookstore. Unfortunately now it's just Barnes & Noble. I remember before Borders closed down. I loved Borders. It was so much fun.
I remember Borders.
Yeah. And I'm still so sad that they were the ones that shut down and not Barnes & Noble. And I think the reason, genuinely, is just only one chain could survive. And people picked Barnes & Noble because both chains had adopted the model of having a coffee bar inside the bookstore. And Barnes & Noble had a partnership with Starbucks, and Borders had a partnership with Seattle's Best. And I prefer Seattle's Best over Starbucks. Because to me, Seattle's Best was always about the actual coffee, and Starbucks was just about putting as much sugar in shit as possible.
Right.
Which, of course, is why Starbucks is more popular.
Like 10 years ago, I tried to eat food at Starbucks, and it gave me the shits, and I haven't eaten there since.
Beast. Yeah, I completely understand. So anyway, yeah, you know, you go into a bookstore, so Barnes & Noble these days, and they've got all the different collections of stuff where they're trying to get you to buy things. So like, here, check out our banned books collection. It's So you check out the banned books collection, and it's just like a bunch of normie slop banned books. Like, oh, Catcher in the Rye in 1984. Oh yeah, this is definitely a banned book. Meanwhile, you're looking through it, and you're like, hey, where's all the right-wing banned books?
I didn't know Catcher in the Rye was banned at any point. Actually.
Oh, it's just because of the foul language,
Oh.
I guess.
That's a really
Plus,
boring reason. Like, at least be American Psycho or something.
Yeah. Plus, I forgot who it was, but somebody was like a famous assassin, and they said Catcher in the Rye made him do it.
Oh, that was the John Lennon assassin.
Yeah, Mark David Chapman. So yeah, that got on the... That kind of pushed it over the edge, too.
So, if I ever get in trouble for anything, and I get caught, I'm going to say that The Rings of Power by Amazon made me do it.
Right. Take as many of them with you as you can. Oh man, that's insanely based. Yeah. Oh. I'll be right back.
Oh, God.
Alright. So, how far are you into Far Cry 4 now?
Let me try to find the percentage thing. Not tell you. Okay, I'm gonna save and quit out and then go back in. It'll give me a percentage. 26.96%. So 27%.
Okay.
I finished Astro's Playroom last night, so I will start Astrobot next time I play on console, which might be later tonight. We'll see.
Nice.
The discourse about the Kendrick Lamar halftime show on X was great. I don't know if you saw any of that. They're still fighting about it, though.
Oh yeah, I posted one of the reactions in the chat, and folks went crazy over that one. It was police freeze black people. Pretty sure I sent it to you also.
Yeah, I did see that.
That one was amazing.
But I mean, we're not even talking about memes here. Talking about, you know, people saying, oh no, it had great deep meaning. It was actually a great halftime show. And it's like, dude, this is the halftime show at the Super Bowl. This is not the time for fucking...
Well, it was really funny. Because, I don't know if you saw it. You probably did. But, there was a fight on Twitter between XQC and Pokimane.
Right.
Because Pokimane was like, you white boys don't get it because it just had deep meaning that white people can't understand. And XQC was like, the Super Bowl halftime show shouldn't be a puzzle for half the audience to have to figure out.
Yeah. XQC is not even a smart individual. Like, you listen to him talk, it's very clear he's kind of a moron. But even he
Yes.
can understand that.
Right. Furthermore, you know, you got all these people talking, oh, yeah, it's subtle and there's layers. And so, like, this is about as subtle as somebody using their feces to write words on the bathroom wall. Like,
This
isn't
is as subtle as Cosmo Kramer taking a shit on Jerry's floor after Tua throws a game-losing interception.
I tried so hard to make a Grok story where Kramer would burst into Jerry's apartment, open up the window, and start harassing a black man on the street who would run up to the apartment and not know that it was Kramer. He's like, who said that? And he'd think that it was Jerry who said it. So he'd start assaulting Jerry. But Kramer had delightfully, devilishly called the police before he ever burst into Jerry's apartment. So the cops get there, like, immediately. Then they get into a standoff with the guy and they George Floyd him. And then Seinfeld's like, Kramer, you maniac, what the hell was the point of all that? And Kramer's like, I'd call that a good day's work, Jerry. I tried so hard. I literally spent 3 hours this morning trying to get that to go through. And Grok just patently refused, no matter how hard I tried.
Did it not understand what you were trying to put down, or was it like being...
No, it completely understood. It was all like, it just kept saying that it can't depict this story because it's too violent with racial undertones. And I'm like, oh, come on. So the only way I could have got it to actually make the story would have been if I had sacrificed the entire point of the story.
Mm-hmm. What you could try to do is get it to be a story about aliens and then say, okay, now instead of aliens, have it be black people. I wonder if that would work. Or if it's too smart.
You know
for
what? That might not be a bad idea, because I've started to notice in the last couple of days, if you get Grok to be okay with the initial prompt, and then you just say, now can you write a sequel to this, and then you steadily ramp it up, it's almost like the filter comes off. You know, like he can only decline the first time, but then after that he's not going to keep declining it. Give that a shot right now.
So earlier today, I told Moogle about that kid's book that I was telling you about. That, like, kind of struck me in a weird emotional place. So I was telling him about it, and he was like, you know, I think I have that book. Then I linked it to him, and he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I had that.
Wait, what?
So, I was telling Moogle about that thing I was telling you about last night, about that kid's book that kind of...
Yeah.
And he was like, wait a minute, I think I had that book when I was a kid. So then I linked the Twitter thread to him, and he was like, yeah, I had that. Because it's a book from the 80s, to be clear, so...
Right.
God damn, everyone has a freaking Molotov cocktail.
So, I'm rewriting the prompt and replacing every instance of black man with space alien.
All right, let's see what happens. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but it's worth a try.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And the thing that Kramer calls the space alien, I have changed it to someone who enjoys eggnog.
Phew! Is he? Do they know what's wrong with him yet, Santi?
First package in tow. On to the next.
Good job. We need the last package.
Oh, sorry, dude. Oh.
Damn. Okay, it's not working because it's trying to maintain the same story of it being an alien.
Okay. So it did write the initial story.
Yeah, but I just can't get him to change it up, sadly.
So you could almost take that story and then like do a find replace on some terms and you would have it, right? It'd be close.
Well, yeah, and I could Yeah, I could try to do that right now with the original one. I'll work on that now.
I'm also seeing all these comments on X from idiots like, oh man, that was so cool how Kendrick Lamar went to the Super Bowl and Trump was there, and then he decided to like do that right in front of Trump's face. And I wish Beyonce had performed with him. She could have done Kamala Harris's campaign song, Freedom, or whatever the fuck it's called. And that would have showed him. It's like, you guys realize he won, right? Like, if he did hear Beyonce perform Kamala Harris's campaign song, he'd probably think it was hilarious. Because he'd be like, oh yeah, remember that stupid bitch I swept in all the swing states?
Exactly.
Like, that would work really well if he lost to her.
Right.
Be right back. Alright, I'm back.
Alright, I sent you the story.
Okay, that actually makes it even funnier. Clearly not from Earth.
Yeah, I kept some of the stuff in.
Yeah, that actually works well. We're still smarter than AI, but only barely. Oh god.
I like how sometimes Mr. Sausage he's like, I've got an idea for something that sounds completely stupid. I bet people are gonna love how retarded this is. But then he accidentally just did something that's actually really common. And then he's like, wow, this tastes amazing!
Do you have a example from today or something?
Yes, today he did steak boiled in onion mush, where he threw an entire onion into a food processor to finely chop it into essentially the consistency of applesauce. And then he used that as the liquid to boil a steak inside of. So then he takes the steak out, it's a perfect medium, and he eats it, and he's like, oh my god, this is amazing, because, you know, the steak is cooked normally, but then it has the light undertones of oniony flavor, it's not overpowering, and it's like, yeah, you basically just created an onion marinade. Except you were speed running it in exchange for using way more onion than you had to. Congratulations, you know.
I haven't watched his videos in a few weeks. I should catch up at some point.
It was really funny. Like, the last one that was similar to that was he boils the steak in clarified butter, and then he's surprised how amazing it is. He's like, "Oh my god, this is the best steak I've ever eaten. I'm giving it the only score it can deserve, a 6 out of 5." And everyone's like, "Congratulations, you discovered that cooking things inside of butter taste good."
Do you think he's trolling when he does stuff like that and pretending he doesn't know what he's doing? Or do you think he genuinely doesn't understand basic science?
I wouldn't be surprised if he was just fucking around, because they usually pop up sandwiched between horrible ideas that are like awful and disgusting. So it's almost like he's treating himself.
Excellent. Now, as fast as you can, bring them to my location.
You're like, alright, that last one was awful. Let me do a real one.
I still can't get over the fucking century egg sausage. It looks so bad. Like, when it starts coming out of the grinder, it looks
Yeah, for real.
fair. Well, man, aside, my name is Ken Sama, but your waifu, call me Dad Sama.
Here you go. Are you setting
Forever
the supplies
17,
to
your
the Golden
Husbando
Path?
dream,
Not yet.
Gaijin
Still
blood, a
compiling
raging
them for
sex
nomination.
machine.
Can't say any more than that.
Good lord.
Have you lost your mind?
How could he only score 8 points?
Thank you for leading the charge with the outpost.
Yeah, it's really funny to me anytime I listen to people who talk about LeBron's the GOAT, and like without fail, they're always under the age of 30.
Yeah, they're all. It's like
Under the age of
Zoomers.
Yeah, under the age of 25, to be honest. But like, they argue him as the GOAT, and what they used are longevity stats. And it's like, if you want to use the longevity argument, LeBron's not even the GOAT using that argument. Kareem it. And if you want to argue, you know, superb excellence and domination, then of course it's Jordan over him. You know, any metric you try to use to justify LeBron as being the GOAT, somebody outdoes him in that same argument, which is just hilarious to me. And I bring it up because how could he only score 8 points? And so, like, dude, none of the other guys in the GOAT argument had a fucking laid an egg like that in the final. Don't give me that shit. Could you imagine the relentless amounts of shit that Jordan would have got if he scored 8 points in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Larry Bird Celtics? Oh my god. Or Kareem, shortly after converting to Islam and changing his name from Lou Alcindor to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. If he scored 8 points in a finals game after that, oh my god, the media would have eviscerated him.
Surround him!
I think for a lot of basketball players, it was a point of pride how lazy and out of shape they could be and still get away with it. Like, look at Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
Stay awake for 48 hours before a game and then drop 48 points.
I don't think we were the reason we were able to hold the outpost. Thank
I
you.
have a foot fetish and even I.
Based.
This is a lot of heroin. We need to get the trucks in right now. All of it up. All come up.
I don't think we should move this heroin at all.
The more. What the heck? It's a miracle. How are you doing, Ajay?
You know, maybe I shouldn't be, but it does genuinely surprise me to see the mainstream recognize the whole Gulf of America thing. So easily, too. Like, even fucking Google bit down onto it.
Yeah.
You're getting called a slur. What did you just put in your pocket?
It was interesting. I saw a really good tweet the other day. I was posting that tweet. It was like, Israeli citizens when, American voters start talking about how Trump should abolish, the income tax. What's that you put in your pocket? Because that looks interesting.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times.
Private Bora is supposed to be supervising a shipment.
Apparently, no tax on tips has passed the House.
Shot.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
okay, you're a
Let's
very
go.
good shot. I'll mark Bora's intended location on your map.
I'm going to re-qualify all the money I make on YouTube as tips now.
Right.
Secrecy is
That's an incredible idea. Via con Dios, bro.
I think all employers should start reclassifying their payments to their employees as tips.
Dal bhat right about now.
Then it would be so based. Because, you know, when you think about it, the customer is paying for something, and, you know, you're being tipped because, you know, they're appreciating your service and doing something. So, yeah, that works for me. I mean, realistically, though, I don't think it would be too big of a stretch for you to... this might actually be what gets Hawksnest to stay on. Because I don't think it'd be too much of a stretch to call Super Chat tips.
Well, there is an alternate form where I take donations that is literally called tipping. I wonder what the legalese is going to be around that. It's literally called, like, a tip jar through Stream Elements that people can use through PayPal. Like, does that count?
Yeah.
I feel like it should.
Yeah, it definitely should. But that's the thing is, you know, something should working that way and actually working that way. The two don't often meet. I'm sure you have like an accountant you can talk to about that.
Mm-hmm. That reminds me, I need to get started on my taxes.
I'm just waiting for my last W2 to show up before I do it. Just get this, man. This is like the stupidest thing ever. Amazon doesn't send you a single W2 for all the income that you made with that company in that year. What they send you is a separate W2 for every location you worked at. And I worked at 3 different Amazon locations last year, so I have to wait for 3 different W2s to show up, which is retarded because it's literally all the same company. Like, man. But I'm excited because I'm actually getting a refund this year.
Are you sure?
Yes. I've already plugged in the information, and the W2 that I'm waiting on is going to be the lowest one, and, you know, I already plugged in, like, way more than I'm going to get, and I'm still getting a refund. It should be around, anywhere between $500 to $700, depending on what else I'm able to do. Because I haven't put in any of the, other stuff that had helped me save yet. Just only plugged in W2 information. So, I'm excited.
Don't know what's out here.
Sounds like a good arrangement to me.
I want you to find whoever did that. Check everywhere. Find.
Father Toad, what about my car? You going to pick that up?
focus on Hitler.
Stay focused.
Help me down to my animals.
Yo, get back on the truck. You aren't sure, take it anyway.
Father Toad, what about my car? You going to pick that up?
So tomorrow, since I don't have to go to the library, I'll be home a lot earlier from the gym in all likelihood. I don't know if that changes anything for you, because when you get home, I imagine you're in bed until about,
Help me down to my animals.
7 most of the time.
I'm not sure what'll end up happening on my end here, but I'll raised.
Sounds good to me.
There's a chance I may go to the gym tomorrow evening, but I don't know if I want to go to the gym in the evening after I wake up, or because these shifts aren't exactly physically demanding. If I want to do it when I get home, I just want to work out today, but usually there's less people there in the morning when I finish my shift as opposed to any time after I wake up.
Killing those monsters. Okay, that.
Help's coming. Right? Over here. Help.
Yeah, initially in the space alien story, Area 51 scientists show up to recover the body. Then I replaced that with a news crew from CNN shows up to cover the body.
Pretty good. Then nobody saw them do it because they were on CNN.
It gives me an amazing idea for a story. Alright, I'll work on this one.
Yes, I was.
Voting for Kamala makes sense, but voting for Trump makes dollars.
That's a pretty good one and highly true. I especially loved, when the full unedited 60 Minutes interview came out, and thank God she lost. Because we all knew damn well what was going to happen, but these retards were like, oh no, it's not going to be. But of course, we know now why they didn't care. Because if their entire livelihood is just them getting paid by U.S. aid, they don't care that taxes go up because that's how they make more money. But yeah, Kamala being like, yeah, taxes are going to go up. I'm going to have to raise taxes. Like, gee whiz, I wonder why you wouldn't say that.
Yeah. The troubling
wonder
thing
why
to
you
me
gotta
is that
that
it's
one a
edited
secret.
out of the interview, and that's probably the most important thing that she said.
Absolutely. If I was Trump when that came out, not only would I be blasting that from the rooftops, but I'd be saying exactly what you just said, Nathalie. But the thing is, your taxes going up is the most important thing that was said in that interview, and they completely failed in their journalistic duty and with any kind of integrity to inform the American people of that being the politician's intention while campaigning. as a result, all their press licenses and badges and everything like that be revoked. Don't allow them anywhere near the administration for the remainder of the next 4 years.
Oh, did you see the stuff about, like, government records and Social Security? I was talking about today. Apparently all the records are being kept in, like, this extremely unsafe facility in the side of a mountain. And Elon was telling this story about how, the maximum number of people who can retire per month is 10,000. And he was telling some story about how, like, the elevator that they use to transport documents down into this facility can't handle the weight of too many documents. So if too many people retire in 1 month, the elevator won't be able to go down or something like that. I don't know if you've seen this or not.
I have not. This is all news to me. This is extraordinary, especially with our aging population. Oh boy.
What the hell is this damn thing?
Alright. Oh, crap. Well, I am gonna have to go soon.
Alright. Have a good day, man.
But, well, not right now. Just, in a couple minutes.
Alright.
I got a couple things I want to finish first, though.
Well done. Now we just need to get this truck to the right spot. I'll mark the delivery location on your map. From the Ministry of Public Affairs.
I tell you what I'm most interested in for the changing nature of the world and politics in the next decade. Something that has to start getting talked about. Because I was reading a thread today, people were talking about age gap relationships and how pissed off Zoomer males are, because they're like, well, the problem with age gap relationships is that less and less young people. So if Zoomer men have to compete with millennial men for access to Zoomer women, of course they're going to be pissed off and everything. But this problem is only going to get compounded because it's essentially the nature of the world where women are attracted to older men because they want a guy who's already established as opposed to getting in on the ground floor. That was a very rare thing in the grand scheme of things, civilizationally. So, Zoomer women, or rather Zoomer men, would be focused on then being with Gen Alpha women. But, like people are saying, is the generations are getting smaller because people were having less and less kids. So as they start having this issue, they're like, well, then what the fuck's going to be going on? What's going to happen? And I'm all like, this is what I'm interested in the next decade. What's going to happen? Who's going to be the first person to broach this subject? Where they sit there and say, because worldwide people are against immigration right now and talking about remigration, we need to send them back, which is great and based, and you love to see it. But What drives a society forward is men. What makes the economy function is men working actual real jobs and not fake email jobs like most women have. So, keep those jobs here in the United States for actual native-born American men. Don't let in immigrant men. But who's going to be the first person to say we should only start letting in immigrant women of childbearing age so that they could serve as wives to American men who are unable to find a native-born American wife? Because for years I've thought that that was going to be the future of the immigration discourse, is that eventually countries are going to shut down and say the only people we want are women. Because if everybody's having what do you call it? Birth rate crisis.
Right.
If everybody's having that, then eventually there's going to be some kind of competition to actually have women in your country. Because if you don't, then guys, why would they give anything resembling a shit about actually trying in society? Not a lot you could do there.
It is tough to maneuver around, but there has to be some way. I mean, this is inarguably the biggest problem that humanity faces right now, I think.
Yes.
I wonder if that's fooling anyone in the law enforcement community abroad. I mean, the fooling is the same trucks, the same farms, the same warehouses, and all that stuff still has the same old directing logo. Thank you, Captain Obvious. I guess it doesn't matter out here. It's not like there's some sort of anti-narcotics organization. There's no FDA like they have in the States, no NACP like they have in China, and they don't even care that we know this is drugs.
Oh man, the story's everything I hoped it would be already. There you go.
Oh, god damn it. I went the wrong way. Drop Top, thank you for the resub. I'm doing, not a lot, Drop Top, just playing for a little bit here.
Alright, so I'm out of here now.
Alright, man.
Yeah, take it easy.
No, I didn't play Primal on stream. I played 5 on stream. Primal was the sequel to 5. I've not played 6 yet. I played 1, 2, 3, and now I'm playing 4 and I played 5. Apparently 6 isn't very good, but I will probably play it eventually. I'll play 6 eventually, but I've heard it's not considered to be all that good.
Well, because all the retirement paperwork.
Okay, guys, so I might stream more night on Astrobot, but I also might end up having to record videos for the rest of the night. We'll see. So thanks for coming out, everybody. We'll see what happens later. But yeah, is Far Cry 6 on Game Pass? It's not, right? It's on the Ubisoft thing. So I probably can't play it through Game Pass. That would have been nice. It's like a perfect Game Pass game.